So it has to work seamlessly. And all that to work, they have to be in the same wavelength. And that is the most important part. So if you find the right person, then half the battle is won.
Hello and welcome. On this season of the podcast, I get to sit down with artists and sponsors involved in the 2024 studio tour put on by Great Falls Studios in Virginia. And this is the annual art festival where visitors have access to creators with an emphasis on learning about and sometimes getting involved in the artist's creative process. The tour takes place this year on Saturday, October 19th and Sunday, October 20th from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. You can find out more on www.greatfallsstudios.com. So that's www.greatfallsstudios.com. Thank you and enjoy the show. All right. So welcome to today's episode. We have Great Falls local artist Alina Dar. Alina, welcome to the show. I'm going to start off by complimenting you on what I'm seeing behind you and on you. So I can see that you do jewelry, but you also do other things. As we head into the studio tour, what can people expect when they come to your studio and all that? But let's start off first. I think we've met maybe at one of the Great Falls Studios meetings.
Studio tour meeting, probably, because Great Falls artists, we do studio tour, we do art fest. There are a lot of different fun stuff that we're doing so that we can bring all the artists together and also show up behind the scene how the artists are working. There's the sneak peek so that outsiders, the consumers, the customers can see the behind the scene story of every artist.
Yes, I love that. We're getting like a little bit of a sneak preview to get to know you a little bit more right now. Tell us, what are your mediums? What do you do?
Yeah, let me give you a little bit of my background, where I came from, what exactly, and how I ended up here. So to begin with, my entire life I have been in the technology world. I have a master's in computers and I have a master's in physics, and technology was my forte. I was working at Accenture Federal. Department of Energy was my last client. I was in cybersecurity, innovation, cloud migration, all technology buzzword that you can think of. Really deep into it. 2022 was a pivotal year for me because that was the year when I started thinking, am I doing what I really want to do? Is it am I following my passion? Or I'm just doing because the rest of the world is doing it? And my dad told me, you cannot be an artist. Artists cannot make money. You have to do something else. And somehow the passion that I had as a young person, I somehow curbed that and I moved into this, just like the world tells you to do. And this is why I'm telling, because I want every youngster to know that, there's no harm in following your passion. As long as you have the idea, the love for it, the joy for it, things will come to you. And so 2022, I said, no, I'm done. I'm going to follow my passion because this is my last race, version 2 of me. So let me make better version of myself. And I stopped technology. I jumped into abstract artwork. I started doing abstract work during COVID time, but then I really loved it. And as I was creating so much different kind of painting, artwork, fluid art, pour painting, I started creating more designs. And those designs, and long story short, became the genesis of my jewelry design. So if you see, this is one of the design based on which I created this jewelry in sterling silver, gold-plated enamel work. And it's exactly the replica of my design, the painting that I had. And then this is another one, the butterfly and all that. So we created this beautiful butterfly in silver, and people love that. It's all sterling silver enamel. And wherever gold is needed, we are using gold plating, and we are using precious gemstones, semi-precious gemstones. to my studio would be able to see all this and understand the genesis and the mindset behind which we're doing it. So that's what I'm saying, that it doesn't matter what kind of art form, as long as you have an idea what it needs to be done. Every single piece is unique because it's based on our design idea. And I met my old friend. She lives in Delhi, and she and me, we both together started in 2022 based on these designs. She created the first artwork, which was a hummingbird based on my painting. And that hummingbird pendant, people love that. And when we created it, we said, wow, is it something, universe is telling us to do? And we said, why not? Let's just start that. And we started designing, and 2022 and 2023 beginning, we formed our company called House of Alkara. So AL is Alina and KAR is Karishma, her last name. And that's how House of us formed. And we didn't stop there. We said, okay, we have all this jewelry that we're creating. The jewelry is not just art based. We have all these gemstones that we go and handpick, and then we create our design. It doesn't matter where the idea comes from. Like, I was a big fan of Bridgerton TV series, so I created a Bridgerton collection. Then I and my partner, we travel a lot. So we go to different countries. I would say thanks to my stars that I have avenues to go to and travel different places. I get inspiration from the art and the culture of other countries, and then I bring that in. And then we sit together, go back to our drawing board, create our new designs, bring it manifest into jewelry or apparel. So we brought our design not just into the jewelry pieces, but transferred it into apparels. So we are creating kaftans, jackets now, different kind of scarves, stoles, everything hand painted. Our main aim and intention is to promote our artists and artisans, and so many different kind of jewelry designs that are kind of dying right now because of lack of opportunity and so many other distractions all around. We are trying to bring that back, and then taking care of those artists and artisans back in India. They are getting inspired by it. So since I cannot design all this myself, it is so much in the fabric also you have to design, then it's not possible to build a business, We have hired artists, and they are looking at my design that I'm bringing from here, and they are creating that on fabric. The dress that I'm wearing is based on Bluebell. It's spring inspired, Bluebell inspired. Then I have not many dresses, one or two ideas that what we are doing. It's right from Evening Sky. And then what we're doing is we are creating designs, not just based on, the fabric is one part, then we are creating an ensemble with the fabric and pendant together so that it becomes a complete set. I'm sorry, I just wanted to show you. This is the design.
It's so funny because it was like a revelation to me one day when I said, oh, you match your shoes with your purse. And now this is like, you can match your jewelry with your clothes, with your artwork. I love it.
This is based on a painting of mine. We just digital printed it into a scarf, and we have exactly same pendant and scarf, all hand painted, different kind of art form. So it's basically my clothing are all, you can say, painting on fabric. We do pigment painting, we do acid painting, and the acid painting almost, you cannot make out it's painting. It looks almost like print. We get the fabric, procure them, and then the whole process happens from scratch. We have a small unit now in Delhi. We have these artists, we have tailors, we have installed machines. So last year was a big, huge year for us for setting it up. And it's a journey. So we are going in that direction, and we just love it, every minute of it. So following your passion, I think, is the best thing because there is no limit. It's limitless.
And you wake up excited,
happy and positive. You are attracting abundance around you. And that's most important because you spend something around you and people feel happy around that person, right? I'm trying to attract positivity. And it's almost like meditation to me, drawing things and then creating something and looking at it. Of course, it's a business. There are a lot of challenges, but that positivity helps you stay grounded, and you find new ideas,
Yeah. And all you need is like one client who loves what you do. And you think, oh, one person loves it, then I'm going to keep on going.
And when I go for these events, I go for different kind of shows and events all around DC area, Virginia, Maryland, and the clients just love it. And I have so many now repeat clients all around. With the technology background, I am trying to go all digital now. So my website is version 1 is done. Version 2, we are making it better. We are in the process of creating more pictures. Photo shoot is going on. So there's a lot of things happening. All good stuff.
That's amazing. So I'm going to backtrack a little bit here. Your business partner that you have, your friend in Delhi, how does that, because I'd love knowing more about creative process. Do you have a meeting like this online and you're kind of showing stuff and you talk about stuff? And in terms of like sourcing the materials and stuff like that, like both of you do that, or you travel around to get it, or?
So she's managing the backend side. So the sourcing, what kind, so I'm bringing the design idea, and she has a very amazing design idea. She has been completely involved, and she has a lot of contacts in terms of sourcing. So we directly work with the alpha source in a way. We have access to someone who has mines, so we can actual gemstones at a very, very, they are absolutely 100% perfect, those kind of gems, really superior quality gems, because it's coming from mines and there are no middle person, changing hands in the middle. So it's coming from the source, and she has done an amazing job in that, because the back end is, front end is important, sales and marketing, designing, art, all that is very important, but back end is equally important. Without one, the other will not function. So it has to work seamlessly, and all that to work, both the person or whoever, together, how many people, they have to be in the same wavelength. So it's the most important part. So if you find the kind of a right person, then half the battle is won. It's tough sourcing, and it's very tough sales and marketing. Both have its challenges. So we are, I think, both good at what we are doing, and we are bringing our strength together to create and manifest all these things.
I'm a believer in teamwork. I come from a background of my parents started a furniture company together. And, I just see how that all happens. It is that constant communication, that constant, pushing towards the same goal. And it is your passion project.
Yeah. And I push her, she pushes me. Like, we both try to bring the best out of each other, and we are in complete synergy. So that's the reason why we could manifest so much in a year. It's a long way to go, but we are in the right path, is what we know. We believe in it.
And now you've got people helping you out, and you're already growing.
Yeah, I need more people. Believe me, it's never ending.
That's amazing.
Yeah, right now we are jack of all. We're doing everything. We're multitasking whole day, night. Like, in a way, we're working 24 hours, because when it's day, it's night for her. And when it's night here, she's working there. So the turnaround is like 24/7.
So you said you've traveled. What are some fun places where you've traveled, and where have you liked it?
So recently I went to Barcelona, and there I already was a big fan of Gaudi, the architect. But when I went there and looked at the work he had done, like the park that he had made, the palaces and the houses he had made, and the design idea in it, it was just inspiring. So I bought so much ideas from there, because something that resonated with him was his love for nature. And he was literally bringing that and putting it into his work. And he has created this huge church in the middle of Barcelona. The physics behind everything that is there in nature, he put together to create the architectural marvel. You don't have to recreate or reinvent anything. It's all out there. So he was just fascinating.
I have to say that when I've seen Gaudi, I've always been struck by the aesthetic of it, but I've never really, for some reason, really thought, oh, how did he actually achieve that? And what's he doing? So that's nice to think about now.
Yeah. So aquatic animals were his The backbone, the spinal cord of a whale was used to create the staircase. Then there are certain kind of trees there. He used that idea to put those pillars, that same architecture, to use pillars to support these huge rooftop of the church, because the pillars look like this, the tree. It's mind-boggling. It's magical. So there's so much design, that ideas that came from that. And we are right now putting all the design, like one of the jacket is right now getting created, like the artwork based on Gauri's design or inspiration.
Wow.
Slowly we'll create more, because now I'm putting all that in my, I'm back to my drawing board to add my idea and his idea and put together and create something different. So that's one thing. Then, that's how I go to different places, and I get inspired by so many different things. We are creating, our new collection is based on all the, like, Louvre Museum, the way it is triangular, the way it is done. I'm taking that idea, literally the structure, and creating a pendant out of that. So that was one. So when I went there, I said, this looks like a piece of jewelry to me. It's a jewel, right? So that's like that, we are creating stuff. So there's a collection of all these kind of monuments, popular monuments, based on which we're making a pendants collection.
I mean, it's wonderful. I find that when you're just strictly an artist, you can just focus on doing the art, but then you add in the business side of it. And do you have a discipline of how much time you dedicate to art and then the business side of things?
It's very challenging to change different hats, because one is to think, strategize. You have to really introspect and plan things, is one part of it. Then you have to go out and do sales and marketing is another part of it. Then you have to go and do shows and events, which is very time consuming, a lot of legwork. That's another thing. And then when everything, there's no sound, nothing, it's like in a vacuum, that is when I have to sit, and I look for those days when I have nothing going on. I just shut myself off from all the chatter around me. And then I literally meditate and get those ideas and put things together in my mind. And then I get into my drawing board, and I tell everybody, just do not disturb me for 2 days. So I just try to take 2 hours here and there and together. So it's hard.
And the more successful you get, it's like, oh, now there's more opportunities here and there.
Passion comes in, because if you have passion for doing something, it's no matter what, you are always energetic. That force is coming from within or from universe, I don't know. Otherwise, I wouldn't have done so much. Like my husband tells me, when I would work for 12 hours, I would be cranky the next day. And I was working for many hours. But here, I don't think I'm working for 12 hours. I'm working for 17 hours, maybe. Who knows? And I don't even realize where the time went.
I always say, like, when I create something, I feel like I walk a little bit taller, because you think, oh, I did something, and it feels good to create.
That's the main thing.
Yeah.
It has no limit, is what I would say. And I try to inspire youngsters, because a lot of kids these days are like, they're running after, there's so much going on. Back in our days, we had very few options. Now there's so many choices, and it's very confusing. But I just try to inspire them that follow your passion, beat anything. And if art is your passion, do it, because imagine me as an artist. I wasn't an artist initially. I was doing it as a hobby. I did some courses here and there. I didn't do my undergrad in art or any, those. I didn't have any of those degrees. But if you have that passion, some exposure to it, you never know how it will come back to you.
Yeah, just talking with another artist about, where she lives, they're cutting out, or they're threatening to cut out the art program in the school. And you just think, I always think, well, okay, how does that translate into a career? But it's so important to have that exposure, so that, it rounds us out. It informs the other topics, even though people don't necessarily believe it, but it stays with you. And I think that one of the problems with any kind of artist, that you feel like by 20 or something, or 25, you have to have made it, but that's not the case. It can happen, for whatever reason, you managed to move that dial in the art world. But I think that you'll become an artist at the right time when it all kind of comes together, because it's so integrated into our lives. And it's so great when it all of a sudden just spills out because you've figured out so many other aspects of life.
It all comes together. And you know what? There is no right time. When you think it is, that's your time. And just go for it.
So I just think like kids are kind of saying, if I'm not successful by this age, then I'm not an artist. It's not the case at all. As long as you keep on creating, you're an artist.
Peer pressure, they're not thinking straight, they're just too fixated at the object. Just go inside and see what works for you. If you feel you have lost that time, you have not. You have learned something different. And then when you are ready, you'll use that knowledge into it and you'll be much more wise while doing that business.
I think it takes some time for the vision to form, perhaps, and
yeah, it takes time. I feel this was the best time for me because I can bring all the things that I've learned and put together and,
Yeah, that's nice. So are there any other artists who've influenced you along the way?
I would say Coco Chanel really inspires me because she started something different when nobody was ready. Everybody used to wear these flowy, crazy gowns with hat and, it was like you looking like a cabbage. And she, with her straightforward, classic, minimalist designs, but so stylish. And her steadfastness and the pure focus is what makes me feel like, yeah, I resonate with that. And she knew this is it. No matter how much chatter comes from the outside world, I know I'm right and I'll make it happen. I'll prove it. And she did. And we all know how she came and, what she did.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Whenever you see a certain style of jacket or something, you go, oh, that's a Chanel style.
Yeah. I mean, we know her style is amazing, but the way she transferred that was a different era. From that to modern era was that she was pivotal in that movement. And that requires a lot of courage, fearlessness, crazy focus, determination. So that's the characteristic, those personality. I like it. And I feel as I need that in me, and so I get inspiration from her.
Your necklace that you have right now, the pendant, tell me, where does the inspiration for that one come from?
Nature.
The flowers, it's nature.
Floral, yes. So that's why Gaudi was, I really like Gaudi because of the nature part design. And this is made in Jaipur. It's in India. And the handcrafted design is what is unique in this. The handcrafted designs are getting, again, dying. It's a dying industry. All the machines have come in. This is handcrafted, is solid silver. And then you have lapis inside it, and this is turquoise. So the color combination, it's silver, looks very cool. And it's a very chunky one so that it's a statement piece that you wear and that's it. I've got some new designs that have come. This is in moonstone. It's beautiful earrings. These are more classic designs. And then I have regal designs that are pure gemstone, very minimal silver metal. You can wear it and go to opera, or you can there are certain simpler ones also that you can wear and you look beautiful.
Sure. So your studio, you're based in Great Falls?
Yes, Great Falls, Virginia.
And at the studio tour, what can people expect when they come in to see, your store? What are they going to be able to?
Yeah. So when they come to my studio, I have the jackets, I have the kaftans, my scarves, my paintings are kept on the wall so that they can look at the painting, then they look at the designs and they get an idea what it is all about. And people have come and they said that it looks like a boutique in New York and it looks so.
Yeah.
I've created my studio. So somebody, through this podcast, you cannot make out much. But when somebody comes in, they get their reaction is, wow, what is this? It's so.
Yeah.
Different. So I've created this boutique myself. Like I've painted the wall with texture. I've created a table myself from a door and I've painted everything and made everything from scratch. This studio has different corners for different theme-based jewelry, my art-based jewelry. So it's like taking a tour, understanding. Sometimes I feel like it looks like a museum. Then I give them a tour and then tell them my behind-the-scenes stories of, the idea, the inspiration, where it came from, and they get fascinated by, it's storytelling. My journey, my business is all about storytelling. So every piece has a story. Every piece is like my baby. So me and my partner, we really take care of them. It's like we say, oh, this is the time of, well, my baby needs a new home. And then we say, let's meditate over it. And then in few days, it is gone. It is gone to a new home. It just feels very nice. It's a spiritual journey along with business, and this, both the side of it makes us feel very contempt. And when people come, they see all this, and then it's in my basement. So I have a bar on the other side. I have wine, I have cheese, I have coffee, and they can sit, discuss, talk about things. And there's so many different topics we discuss. If they have art background, if they jewelry background, so many people come and give me so many ideas. So it's so fulfilling talking to these wonderful people who come to the studio, and they feel amazed looking at it. I think the creativity starts pouring out. Then they get inspired, and then they have ideas, which are really, some of them are really great. And I've utilized those. A lot of people have given me amazing feedback, ideas, and incorporated them to make the product even better, because I'm also learning at the same time. I don't have 10 years, 20 years of textile or manufacturing experience. I'm new, but I'm learning. And as we are going together, every step we are learning and taking it to the new level.
So you started in 2022?
2022, yes.
Yeah. So you're very new.
Very new. And in fact, I want to tell you, yesterday I went to a Salvation Army Country Club fashion show. One of my dear friend was modeling there. And guess what? Alice Aarons, the CEO and co-founder of Kate Spade, and Frances Valentin, she was there. And I showed my kaftan. I was wearing a kaftan. And she said, is it you who created it? I said, yes, I did that. And she gave me her email ID to contact her. So I was very inspired and thrilled to have that experience meeting this co-founder of Kate Spade. And she was so humble. I learned something from her. Like, she was very grounded. She organized, and the fashion show was going on. The models were coming on the ramp. She was describing each and every piece of it. I went to her and met her, and I got the same vibe. It made me feel very humble.
It's nice that, because you think a lot of the stores, kind of like, I call them like the uniform stores. And I shop there because I like their clothes too, like the Gap and stuff like that, where it's just, but for the special pieces, it's nice that there's that love for it from the creator behind it.
Is behind the brand. When you see that person, they're also human being like us. They have the same feelings, emotions. It's just they have created, manifested it, and it's all inspiring. When you see the person behind it, it feels very humble. That person is so human.
It's a nice circle to be in, for sure. And I agree, the people who come on the studio tour, they are very interesting. Once you open that door for yourself to walk through and say, this is what's in my heart, this is what I want to get out there. I'm not sure about it, but all of a sudden, all the doors start to open, and it's pretty exciting.
It's absolutely fascinating. That's why I'm saying it's a journey. I'm just walking and opening new doors, and I don't know where I will go, but it'll be all great.
It will be. And this is going to be your second studio tour this year?
Yes.
Wow.
So I'm actively involved in volunteer work. So this year I'll get more involved. And there's an art fest happening in April this month, 27th to 28th at the Range. So I'm doing again the social media thing. I'm volunteering, and I'll have a booth in that as well. So,
are you building up anything special for the studio tour, like a special release? Will it be, it can be yes or no. I'm just curious.
Because it will be fall season, October. We will have our fall collection by then. We will have fall-centric kaftans, scarves, because we are now experimenting with a little thicker material and wool and silk combination scarves or stoles. We might come up with a couple of new jacket designs, long jackets, short jackets.
Speaking of like Coco Chanel, I'm seeing, I don't know if there's room in your house somewhere, but like an actual fashion show.
I would love to do that.
I can see that happening. I think that would work. Like I can see it, like, that people carrying your line, wearing the jewelry, even carrying, the piece of artwork.
Instead of doing it, I need models and then I need to market it. Why not?
Yeah. I can always just start one fact, how it goes. And I think people would be very intrigued by it because there's nothing else kind of like it. And because you are painting, and then you're also a person. I mean, it's a very, very captivating story. And I can see why people are already drawn to you.
I would love to do that.
I get to know you when, we're still regular people.
Absolutely. I will always be regular people.
That's wonderful.
Thank you for the idea. Actually, really appreciate that.
Yeah, I can see that working out. This has been such a lovely little conversation about your work, and I'm looking forward to coming out to your studio and checking it out.
We'll have more discussion over coffee, wine, whatever for you.
I like the hospitality aspect of it because I traveled in the East, and whenever we would stop somewhere in the market, they give you coffee, they give you tea, and nobody's rushing you away. And I just always thought that is so nice because then you get to share. And I think that sharing process during, the purchasing, it gives those pieces meaning.
When my customers call me and they say that we want to come, do you have like 1 hour or 30 minutes? Will not take much. I said, just give me a time, but don't talk about the end time. There's no end time. You tell me what time you want to come and then we'll see how it goes from there. And me coming from an Indian family, I have always known about, that basic. My mom would always, offer tea and snack and something, interesting. I have that in me. I said, whoever comes to my home, my studio, I will always offer something. And it feels great when you have, that with the story. It's a complete package. You feel so involved in it then. And then
it's a whole immersive experience. Yeah.
I love doing that.
Yeah. Well, I got a really great feeling off you. And in terms of, you're going to be just exploding as you continue on. And I'm really glad I got to know you personally. And I look forward to seeing you.
Absolutely. Can I call you Sil?
Absolutely. So one last thing, what's the best way that people can reach you?
I generally give my card to people and my Instagram media is best way of reaching me. Instagram is House of Alkara. It's House of Alkara. And my website is also House of Alkara. Facebook is also House of Alkara. And my email is Alina, first name, dot, last name, DHAR. So alina.dar at houseofalkara.com or info@houseofalkara.com.
Great. Okay. Well, I'm going to wish you for a wonderful day and just hang on there and I'll wrap up with you. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I'm going to bend your ear for a couple more seconds to give some thanks. It's been an honor to co-chair the studio tour this year with Sandy Buffy. And on behalf of the Great Falls Studios community, a big thank you to our corporate sponsors. Emily Marentette Real Estate, Brightview Senior Living Great Falls, Moss Building and Design, RJS Construction, Surrounds Landscaping, Stacy Tucker's State Farm Insurance, Dianne von Volkenburg at Long and Foster Real Estate, the Residences at Colvin Run. And a big thank you to all those who make it out to visit us and maybe buy a piece of art or two. We'd really appreciate it. Thank you.